All right, 3, 2, 1, clap. There we go. Thank you for doing it on three. I've been so many months of having someone fuck with me. It feels nice to have someone do it on three. Um, Welcome to the Utter Nonsense Podcast, everybody. My name is Matthew, and if you're watching, you already noticed, but if you're listening, I am once again not joined by our co-host Max. Max is actually, and I'm going to be honest this time, instead of making up some random bullshit, he's trying to be a firefighter. He's doing some EMT classes that are like 2 weeks straight of firefighting in hell, I guess. I don't know. But that's okay because instead of boring old Max that we're so used to hearing, I
Hey,
am joined by the one, the only, the legendary, the king of all media, the podcast legend, wrestling legend, sport legend, music legend, Darius Bryant, aka Mr. Mooky himself. Mooky, thanks for coming on, man.
what's good, man? I'm telling you, it's weird because I'm always like introing people. So to be
I
introed, I
know.
feel honored, especially by one world prophecy champion as yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's,
and
it's
you
glad
know
to be back on this pod,
the
man.
belt ain't that far. Where the champion
Hey,
roams, the belt ain't that far. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Damn it. I totally had set up in my promo. I was going to try to steal your thing and do had the little bottle
I
can't
literally have
snap.
one beer left, and I'm like, when am I gonna crack that?
I was going to do liquor. We don't drink on this podcast normally because me and Max get too competitive and then we end up not working the rest of the day.
Oh, dog, this will get
So,
this joint flowing over here. You know.
cheers, man. What are you sipping on?
Right now, spiced rum. If I run out, I got whiskey.
Ooh, I cannot drink rum anymore. That used to
I'm
be my go-to, and then one night in college ruined all of that.
That's my story with gold tequila.
Oh yeah, gold
Don't put
tequila.
gold tequila in my face. We might fight.
Yeah,
Rough night, man. I literally was hyped up. Like, yeah, we're about to go
yeah.
crazy downtown. Next thing I know, I'm waking up or whatever, literally passed out in the shower,
Oh yeah, yeah.
fully clothed with my
Oh, fully.
hat sitting. Yeah, well, look, with my hat sitting on the damn shower head.
Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
I did the rum night for me. I'll just stick to one part of it because the rest hurts too much to say out loud. But we're driving in the car back from this party. It's like 3 a.m. and it's me, my buddy, and two random chicks. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just gotta do something real quick." And while we're going 55, I just swing the car door open and puke out the side of the car. My friend who was DD was not happy.
That's
Uh,
when you know it's a real one, man. We've all seen someone have to like jump out the car because of puke. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's no more rum.
shout out to little homie Yeti or whatever, a Christmas party a couple of years ago, whatever. Literally pulled over on the side of the road. Hold up. He got motion sickness on the way back.
Oh Jesus. All right, let's not talk about puking all episode. Mookie, thank you for coming on in the first place.
I
Awesome to
appreciate
have
it,
you
man.
back on here. You know, last time you were on, I can't honestly even remember what we talked about. I felt like it was a whirlwind of like 30 topics.
It was a little bit of everything, man.
Yeah.
We got quizzed about wrestling. Like we talked a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
of like music, Pokemon. The works, man. Kind of what
Well,
I do, what you do.
well, that's what I kind of want to dive deeper into is because you are a man of many platforms. You're on podcasts left and right. You're doing music.
Yeah,
You have so many different things in the frying pot. I kind of wanted to see how'd you even get into all this shit in the first place?
man. So it's a story with it, man. It's a story with it. As far as I guess it starts with the music or whatever. Like I literally remember like kind of just randomly freestyling at work with one of my homies. Shout out to Tone, and like we eventually were just like, yo, why don't we just do records? So like I
Right.
would like go online and download instrumentals, put them on this like little ass USB that I got that was supposed to be for school, but I was like, fuck it, it's for beats now.
Yeah.
And we go for his crib or whatever, and we had this terrible ass microphone that we literally had to put an old sock over just to like kind of muffle out the sound. And
Right.
we would record like these trash ass terrible songs or whatever,
Yeah.
which we were trying, and
Right.
it kind of started from there. And then the love and that kind of I stopped rapping for a while.
Right.
um Moved to Greenville, which is about an hour away from group in Goldsboro. I literally was on one of my walks, and it was funny too because the first time I was on, remember I actually taught Max like, yo, you're not using your Blue Yeti right.
Oh
Like
my,
you're
he's
talking
still
into it.
not. He still doesn't.
Oh, it
I
bothers me whenever I watch it. I'm like, he's not
I
using
know.
the shit right because
I know. he thinks like it's so much about proximity. So if he gets excited, he's like, "Hey, everybody, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Stop, back up."
Yeah, I'm like, further away. I got the little filter on my,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it's hilarious to me, whatever. Because nothing on y'all or whatever, not even anything I'm at. So I promise you. But like,
You
it'd
can
be
shit
funny
on
if these
us.
people when they be like, no, we're podcasters or whatever. And it's
Right.
like, dog, you ain't even got talking into the mic, right? Get the fuck out of
Right.
here. Like, do your research. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah. Welcome to the Other Nonsense podcast.
So no, I literally was on one of my walks and I found a Blue Yeti, kind of just chilling. Grabbed it, took it home, and plugged it in. It worked perfectly. Got a little
That's
bit of
so
rust on it,
crazy.
but I still have it to this day. And I was
Yeah.
like, what am I gonna do? And you know, I started maybe like, yo, maybe I can get back into music. Maybe it's a sign, And I was looking into stuff. I actually was looking into like streaming
Okay.
at one point, which it's kind of funny. I don't stream as much as I should and I need to. My Xbox is
Right.
kind of going through some crazy shit. And I just got a Switch, which whoo, dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, buddy.
Whenever I do finish Pokemon Sword and I get Monster Hunter, you got to get it too.
Dude, everyone talks about that game, and I have not dived into it yet.
It looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, I've heard such good things about that game.
So eventually I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I was like, well, I listen to podcasts all day. Like someone was like, why don't you do that? And I was like, huh. So I kind of, did my research and everything.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, well, if I want to do a pod, I want to talk about stuff. Like just
Right.
because I'm like, you go on Sports Center and it's like, your Stephen A ain't just talking basketball no more.
Right.
It's not 2006, 2007 when he was just the basketball guy. He's like,
Right.
he does this and talks about that. And, people kind of go out and do their other stuff. And I feel like it's kind of weird because I feel like just because we're everyday people, they're like, oh, well, you can't do this. You can't do that. And I'm like, why can't I? Why can't I make music? Why can't I talk about sports, wrestling, music,
Right.
like pop culture? Like, I mean, I told you, like, it's a great day, whatever. I literally get to talk about Pokemon and Beyonce in the same day. Like,
yeah.
and drinking liquor. Like, can it get any better?
Yeah, that ain't bad at all. So what was your first podcast? Because you have your podcast, Don't Bite Your Tongue with Mooky, which is awesome. And you post like 3 times a week, which I'm lucky if I post once a week. So commendment on that. But like, you have your variations. You got Live from the Nosebleeds when you're talking about sports. You got It's Still Real to Us, damn it, about wrestling, which I've been on a couple times.
Oh yeah.
You got your music one. You got your video. Dude, so I changed kitchens. I'm renting from a new kitchen, and it's like a calendar where you book hourly,
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into the system, somebody had already booked Thursday mornings for 2 months.
Dang.
So I'm in the afternoons now. So I'm like, I could record with you, but you're gonna hear me cooking for like 3 hours.
That's gonna be hilarious. I ain't gonna front, but hey, shout out Los Levy's Tacos, man. I'm ready for y'all to come to the East Coast, man. We need that.
Dude, I'm trying. I want to ship it. I'd love to be able to ship it.
When you do, I got some customers for you. Just know.
Hell yeah.
Just know. I told you, bro. When you come over here, we got
you. Thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, so you got, you recently added your video game version of the podcast. So what was your first podcast, I guess? What did you start off
on? So the first idea that came to my mind was actually Live from the Nosebleeds.
Okay.
That was the first thought.
Which is a great name.
It was actually, the first one was going to be 808s and Hot Takes.
Oh, I think you told me this, yes.
But I looked and that was taken.
Yeah.
Because I looked through all this. Like I came up with all the names literally like in about 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Honestly. Then like whenever it would come to like, yo, I want a new pod. Yo, what's the name? Boom, got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would kind of filter to like certain friends where I was like, you're not going to judge me and you're not going to say shit either. So how does this sound?
Right.
Like, yo, that sounds pretty cool. Like, boom, got it. Like Corey was the person I hit up like, yo, I'm thinking of this wrestling joint, it'll be us or whatever, it's still real to us, damn it, like that quote, an infamous wrestling quote.
Oh, yeah.
The very first one I recorded though, and it's hilarious because later in that year, it was my favorite album of 2019, and I actually just was listening to it the other day, was Ox Me Later, my first iteration of the music pod,
right?
And we did Tyler the Creator's Igor.
I want to talk, that was your favorite album in 2019?
Yes.
I want to hear why, because I do enjoy that album, but I didn't have it ranked as my favorite album of the year.
So I'll be real, it was real tough between that and Solange's When I Get Home.
That is a very good album.
That's what I'm telling you. I fuck with you, bro. Because like, I feel like a lot of people really don't get Solange. Because like, I'm not gonna say like, oh, super fan. Like, it was a seat at the table that got me.
Yeah, same. That was the album that got me into her, and I saw her live in 2017, and I just
I'm
like,
jealous as hell now.
oh my god, dude, I just was like face melting, swaying, and it was at in San Francisco at Golden Gate Park. I was just
Nice.
it was very good, but continue. Sorry.
Oh no, so the reason why that was my favorite album that year because it came down between that and Solange, man. It was a
Right.
lot of stuff in 2019. Actually,
Mhm.
I don't even know if I still have my list in the notes somewhere,
Yeah.
but I just found myself going back to that album more than the rest. It was between that and Solange, and with that one, I've literally watched Tyler's growth. Like I remember when, yo, this is the crazy motherfucker that's eating the cockroach and shit, you know,
Right.
like.
Fucking odd future.
But I've watched even the sound like progress. Like for people that's like, yo, I can't believe he's doing this type of music now. I'm like, he was doing this in 2013 on the Wolf album. If you listen,
Exactly. Yeah. He just kind of honed it in better.
yeah, like he just got better and better at it. And it was crazy because like by that point in time, I actually was getting into the committed relationship that I'm in now.
Right.
And my favorite album was a breakup album. I was like, this is ironic and it's not cool. Like I'm over here, like, you know, like just gone, gone, thank you. My girl's like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, baby, let's do the song. Yeah, let's do the song.
I know.
Yeah, let's do the
I
song.
know. do
But that was
you
the very first one.
do you know the artist Little Sims?
I don't know.
I would She is a British rapper, and
Interesting.
her album in 2019, Gray Area, is what I had on my personal list of like best albums. That was my favorite album of the year. I would strongly recommend going and listening to her. She's fantastic.
Also, too,
Um,
for
hmm.
listeners of the Utter Nonsense podcast, I besides all the great content you get over here, I drop a monthly playlist on Apple Music and
Yes,
Spotify.
yes, promote it away.
That is very interesting. I actually shot it over to the homie Will that records wrestling with me yesterday, and he was
Hmm.
like, I remember the first time I even did one or whatever, and he was like, Mook, when I tell you, like, people will say, oh yeah, well, we're doing a playlist or whatever, but like I don't know no one else. This is the one about the most recent one. He said, I don't know anyone else where this shit goes from fucking like Benny the Butcher to Dionne Warwick to Nelly Furtado to like Drake. Like you the only motherfucker that could do some shit like this, bro. Like I swear, he's like, but I like the fact that you like, no, fuck it. I'm gonna put in random fucking 80s R&B song or
Yeah,
whatever, and then the brand new Conway album,
why not? Why not? I haven't listened to that yet either.
Oh, that shit's fire.
I'm seeing a lot of love on it.
Also, there's a new dude or whatever named Nobody. I'll shoot him to you, whatever. He's pretty dope.
Nobody. Okay.
It's like NBDY.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of him either.
He's pretty talented. I think he's out of Jersey.
Jersey. Okay. Yeah, we need to talk more about music. I just realized we haven't talked enough about music. Um, but that's getting off. We'll talk more about music in a second.
Yeah.
Um, so live from the nosebleeds was your first podcast,
Oh no,
and
Oxmulator was the very first one recorded. Live from the Nosebleed was the first one I thought of.
oh,
And
okay,
then I
my
think
bad, my
wrestling was
bad.
like second. And then from there, it kind of was just like, I think the original first ones were like those two, the after credits, which is TV film,
Okay,
and then Oxmulator. I mean, it's an Oxmulator's music or whatever.
right.
And then, yeah, Oxmulator's music or whatever. And then after credits is TV film. So those were the original four.
Okay,
From
and
there, we
now,
branched out to Tar Heel Talk, which is me and my homie Cody. We haven't really done that a lot because, a lot of stuff going on or whatever. And then Tar Heel
sure, sure,
Basketball was kind of hit and miss,
yeah,
And we just, it started off as Tar Heel Basketball because that's me and his connection, you know what I'm saying?
right,
We kind of do all Tar Heel, like just sports. I think after that, because the most recent, of course, is the Sometimey Gamers, my one where I interview Twitch streamers,
right,
kind of just like what do you expect from their page. And we also have Don't Bite Your Tongue Kickbacks, which
yeah,
is kind of like what we're doing here, just shoot the shit or whatever.
right.
The last couple of those have been dope. It's been like literally my homies I grew up with or whatever,
Oh, nice.
graduated high school from. We kind of just like call up or whatever, late night Friday, whatever, after one of my homies like lives up in DC, puts his kids to bed.
Right.
My other homie can escape from work and his girl or whatever, and we just like be online, just drunk as hell, talking just dumb shit.
Yeah.
And you see Kickbacks. Oh, Don't Bite Your Tongue interviews.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard one of those yet.
Funny you mention it because actually,
Yeah.
that got me one of my most popular, not even my most, it is the most popular episode or whatever. I actually interviewed my cousin,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like a real food, I wouldn't say necessarily, he's kind of a blogger,
Okay.
photographer for food or whatever.
Okay.
And he's low-key popping over in Charlotte.
Really?
And that's my most downloaded episode. Like they loved that shit.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
also have some interviews coming up or whatever. I have one with the actual music artist I used to go to college with, and one coming out next week. By the time you guys will hear this, it is a author who's over in South Korea who speaks about being black from like South Carolina and then living over in South Korea now,
Oh, interesting.
and like the a black man's guide to South Korea.
Wow, that's gonna be really interesting.
So that's
Ah,
coming up.
shit, I'm stoked to hear those. Yeah, that's funny you say that. Like on our episodes, our most popular two are both interview episodes
Hmm.
with like a guest where we're just kind of talking about it. Nobody likes listening to me and Max. So anytime they get a third person on, they're like, all right, yeah, we'll tune in.
I rock with y'all. It's just hilarious or whatever because we talk all the time now,
Yeah.
and like Max is like, you remember I hate you all the time. I'm like, yo, is Max just objective just to fuck with you?
Oh my God.
And you're
Max.
like, yeah, that's our friendship.
Yeah. Max has his opinions and shit, but like Max's favorite thing on the planet is to play devil's advocate. He loves to pick a fight. And
People like that, no offense.
oh, me too. Which is why it's crazy we have a podcast together. Uh,
I mean, it works though.
there was one time, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, like 10 of us were all hanging out together, and Max shows up and he's like, guys, like, I just had this dinner with my family and this guy who's just some rich dude. And he's like, and he was talking about creationism and how God created the earth and there was no Big Bang Theory. And I believe him. Like, evolution doesn't exist. And like we just stopped and we're like, are we really about to have this argument? Are we really about to pick a fight like this? And then it was just 3 hours of 10 guys screaming at Max. Well, Max is like, I don't know, man. I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't know. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. This isn't worth arguing. Like, this is stupid.
There's a joke right there, but I don't know if I should say it because it's kind of too mean.
I
You
mean,
always get at him about his hair and everything. He's trying
mhm.
to make you guys also lose your hair.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Don't let him do it.
Nah, I don't need a mirror
Nah, that's the
reflection on my
homie though,
head.
man. Love you, Max. Real shit.
Wherever you are, Max, go fuck yourself. So now let's talk about Twitch real quick because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
let's
get
do
into
that.
that too. Like me and Max are trying to set it up because we've been doing a couple live streams of playing some games on our channel.
Right.
But we haven't been doing it on Twitch because you have to pay for like YouTube and Twitch to be on like double stream.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I think that's right. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but that's what it
I
looked
know they
like.
be trying to make you do it though, whatever. So that makes sense now,
Well,
whatever to charge it.
it wasn't Twitch that was charging it. It was the OBS streamer.
Oh,
You have to pay for like their upgraded subscription
got
to
you.
be able to stream on both. But yeah, what do you think of streaming? Because I want to get into it more. I feel like it's a better excuse for me when I play video games, basically, you know?
Yo, like with streaming, man, shout out to that and shout out to people that really do it. I don't want to name everyone that's been on some time in gamers, but shout out to all of them until we go
Yeah.
check that. But it's fun it's always fun for me or whatever whenever I do it, and I should do it way more. But like, I'd be recording these and I'd be
Right.
busy, there's
Right.
life.
Yeah.
But what I will say or whatever is like when you find a dope ass community, man, like them people rock with each other.
Yeah.
Like literally, I did an episode with shout out to homie Marcus or whatever. He's over in the UK.
Okay.
So we had to go through like, we deal with our time differences over here, but he's like, by the time I was getting off work, it's almost like 11 o'clock over there and shit.
Right.
He's like, yo, I'm
Right.
about to pass out. And just posting his stuff or whatever, because I kind of knew the people like I wanted for the original episodes.
Yeah.
And they don't really know each other either. But like he brought me over to like this one girl, and then she introduced me to another girl, and like literally I haven't even streamed in a while, but I'll be like on her joint, we'll be playing Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time I ever jumped on her joint or whatever, it was her birthday, and we were up here playing Warzone like till about 2 something in the morning, just drunk as hell or whatever. And it'd be the funnest times because like whenever I was
Yeah.
doing my streams, I'd be up here just drunk, and it was like I was playing Final Fantasy for the first time, Final Fantasy
Right.
10. And it was just these gang of dudes or whatever, and we're up here talking about life and shit. Just we're all drinking. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm on another shot too. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
See,
This is the funnest little niche thing,
that's the thing, man. Like I watch a lot of people play video games on YouTube and stuff. Shout out to Game Grumps. And like that shit cracks me up. And people question me. They're like, why is that entertaining to you? Like, why is it fun to watch someone else play a video game? I was like, I don't know. I grew up at my friend's house watching them play video games. Like if
Yeah,
it was a single player game, I'd sit and watch them play for 6 hours, and give
facts.
them crap and talk to them. Like that's what makes the streaming of all this stuff so fun. It's just you find these people to talk about it with and stuff and everything. It's so cool.
Facts. And you're the older brother or whatever. I was the little one. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
was, so I had to sit there. If it wasn't two player, I'm over here like, well, damn, I'm gonna be sitting watching this for a little bit.
exactly. That was the
And,
problem. I was the older brother, but in my friend group, I'm the youngest. So
and
then I was
got
like,
you.
all right, well, they're gonna play this and I will watch.
Right.
But
Like I got better than my brothers or whatever. Then with my friends, it would depend on the game.
oh, dude, my younger sister kicks all of our asses at Call of Duty now. She's insane.
Yo, the kids don't be playing no games, dog.
I I know, she's crazy. She's so good at it. Um, yeah, man. Now, do you have out of your multiple genres of podcasting, do you have
Yeah,
one that you prefer more than the rest? Because like, there's like your the wrestling one, the lives from the news feed, the or nosebleeds, the
yeah.
Ox Me Later. Those are more consistent ones on your channel.
Yeah, and Oxman later just came back or whatever. It's like lately with music, we've been doing um from the roots to the top, which is actually
Hmm.
me and my homie Donnie, that's been the other guy on like a lot of the music I sent you.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing a lot of stuff, and we're like with that, we kind of talk about music and we like put people on like new artists that you've never heard of.
Ah, see, that's so dope.
Like we literally just like go through like SoundCloud and shit and just find like new people and kind of like, yo, I found this guy or this girl out of here. And
Yeah,
but to answer your question,
it's basically choosing your
everyone would
favorite
be like,
child.
it's like, all of them are my babies or whatever. But
Right.
like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie or whatever, man. Like, stuff comes and goes, but and knock on wood, we have not missed a week of wrestling, like with It's the Real Us, damn it.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how long.
Yeah.
We haven't missed an episode. I think we just dropped episode 87 of that.
That's so crazy.
Like just that one alone. And
Yeah.
it literally started off with like me and Corey, and then Corey couldn't make it one time, and I got Will on. And then whenever Corey couldn't make it, I'd get Will. And then eventually, like, we were here in the same place in my little ass apartment, and we
Right.
did it together. And then I was like, I think we got something here. So
Yeah.
then I would just kind of call both of them. I'm like, yo, you guys met now and everything. And it's funny because like a lot of my friends said they're like, yo, I never would have hung out with such and such until I hung out with them with you.
Yeah, you clearly are a connector of people. Cause like you have like every podcast you name somebody new that you're recording with.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you intertwine because I don't know the dynamics in full of this family tree, but like you connect so many people because now like I know your buddy Corey. I haven't met Will yet. I don't think we've recorded yet.
Yeah.
But like it's just crazy how you intertwine all these people like through your recordings.
It's interesting because like I feel like even at first a lot of people would be like, nah, man, I don't really know. And then like I'm like, nah, but it's me though. And like I feel like I can get the best out of people. I feel like I know what to ask.
Yeah.
I feel like I can kind of even sometimes, and I might it's gonna sound weird. I treat it like either basketball or kind of music in a way, like yo, such and such is good with this, and such is good with that. They'll be great on this pod together. The same way it's with sports, like, or even with music, like, yo, if I put, Kanye on this track or whatever, and then
Right.
put Drake on this hook, like, boom, we got it.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. I mean, that's kind of it's not at all, but it's kind of what we try to do on our podcast with guests because like, there was like a month period where Max was out of town and I was just
Mhm.
recording with people. And I hit up one of our friends who I was like, you should come on. And he's like, well, will Max be there? I was like, no, you're right. You'd be way funnier having Max to go off of.
Yeah,
Like sometimes you need that chemistry of multiple people to work it out better.
right. Because sometimes it's dope with just me and a homie or whatever, but other times it's like, I'll kind of just want to be host and not lead or whatever, and kind of just let them go and just
Right.
jump in whenever I need to.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
But I want to say shout out to y'all because like, and I've been asked that before, like, yo, shout out to you, Moot, because how can you even do all these episodes? I'm like, well, it's just me. It's me finding someone else or whatever.
Right.
So like that's a little bit easier but then sometimes at first it was like, damn, I wish I had a co-host where it was
Hmm.
like, hey bro, like let's talk about this, let's talk about it. But like also
Right.
too, like I don't even want to say annoying. I could be like, yo, I want to talk about this, and somebody might not want to talk about it. Or they
Right.
don't care as much as I care.
exactly. No,
Like,
that's
you ever
why
did a straight up solo review or a solo like episode?
I was going to do one this recording session without Max because I was like, why not try it?
Yeah.
I didn't have a good idea of what I could talk about for 30 to 40 minutes, you know? I hadn't come up with my in my head what's a topic I could just rant about. You know, that would be interesting. I could rant about dumb shit like Pokemon Snap for 3 hours, but no one's going to
Yeah.
listen to a TED talk on fucking why this angle
Is
is better for taking pictures of fictional creatures, you
it's
know?
weird because I've done it
Yeah.
one time, and literally the one episode was like Drake dropped Dark Lane demo tapes,
Okay.
and I had two people I wanted to do it with. One he really couldn't make it, and the other one he could, but like it would have been a little bit,
Mhm.
and I honestly didn't want to wait. So literally, I remember that was when The Last Dance was on. I watched
Yeah.
the two episodes, like used the bathroom, got myself together, put Coco in the other chair, and set up the mic like somebody was here, and literally just like got drunk and ranted about Drake's album for like about an hour to myself.
How'd that
One of the
episode
most
do?
it did decent because I mean
Yeah.
people know how passionate I am about Drake. It's certain people where it's just like, you know what, that's just Mooky, but like he's gonna speak about this shit. Like I told him, I'm like, I literally left my well, not left her, but like
Yeah.
I remember I told my girl, like, because the homie Don hit me and was like, yo, I think Drake dropping the album or whatever. And I was like, bro, don't joke with me. And then like 2 hours later, he sends me the picture, like, yo, it's coming tonight at midnight. I looked at my girl and said, I'm leaving tomorrow morning early and I'm recording this podcast.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yes, I need,
It has to
I
happen.
need to ingest this album in my veins."
Do you have a favorite Drake album or project? Because he has mixtapes too. You can include that.
That's so tough. That's so tough. As weird as it sounds, it's funny too because I'm gonna talk about it because I feel
Yeah.
like people are just on this shit where they're like, "Oh, I've always loved If You're Reading This It's Too Late," and I'm like, "No, y'all didn't. I was
No.
around in 2015. Y'all shitted on that album.
Yeah, that's the
Y'all
album everyone
hated
went
it."
back to, and it was like, well, this is a classic.
Right, they went back and everything.
Yeah.
But what's funny, I find myself going back to Views more than anything.
Really?
I really like. I'm dude. It's so weird. Like listening back, Scorpions has its flaws.
Hmm.
Of course, in the moment, I was just like, "Yo, like the songs I
Of
like, I
course, of
like."
course.
Um, Nothing Was the Same. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that would
I
probably be my
burnt
favorite.
the fuck out of that one or whatever on my old like Android phone back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, More Life is a moment, and More Life still works.
Yeah.
But there's certain things with More Life where I'm just like, I feel like it was better done on Views, as weird as that sounds.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Underrated classic, him and Future. I'm sorry, man. That tape with him and Future was insane. I don't care what nobody says.
I don't even remember if I've listened to that full one.
Yeah, What a Time to Be Alive. They did that shit
Yeah,
in like, I think they did that shit in like a couple days.
probably.
It's a bunch of throwaway Future tracks, but I mean Drake went up there and snapped.
Dude, um I think I've mentioned this to you before. I listen to a lot of Nicole Byer, the comedian. I think she's fucking
Yeah, yeah.
hilarious. And she has a podcast called Newcomers where her and another comedian, Lauren Lapkus, they made it based off the fact that they had never seen Star Wars. So they did
Interesting.
a podcast where each episode they watched something new from Star Wars that they've never seen, and it had some guest on, and they shat on it because they hated it. And then they did season 2 with Lord of the Rings. They had never seen Lord of the Rings.
I like the
And
concept.
season 3, well, because like at the end of season 2 they're like, we're gonna kill ourselves, this is horrible, we need something fun, we like, because they did not like Lord of the Rings. And so they've been doing for season 3, they've been doing Tyra Perry's like work of art. And dude, the amount of stuff this guy has created and the timeline is insane. Did you know he makes movies in like a week?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard
Yeah,
about that.
like
Like
it's insane.
I ain't going front, like, I joke whatever with the whole Christian shit. I work every morning.
Sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
I work who, sir? I work who? 150 podcasts last year, whatever. Who you outwork? But no, Tyler. What's your first memory of Tyler Perry?
I think sadly it's like a Medea commercial.
No. It's not even a sadly. I was a kid. I remember
Yeah.
maybe like third, fourth grade, maybe if
Yeah.
maybe even sooner. I remember watching the plays, and black people shit. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just learned that he was a playwright. I didn't even know
Dog.
that.
Yeah, he started. with Black people, we started off with the play. So
Right.
seeing where he is now with the studio,
Oh,
the
it's insane.
BT deal, movies,
Yeah.
sitcoms, he's writing his soap operas.
Mhm.
That is why I say do not box yourself in.
No.
He
That
refuses. And I love that shit.
yeah, he is a very glowing example of that.
And people are shit on like the content, but I'm like, hey, my grandma still ain't cut that shit off or whatever. My auntie still ain't cut that shit off or
Well,
whatever. He has an audience and he
that's the
knows what it
thing.
is.
He like they were talking about the stats, like every film they've watched, they say, like it got horrible ratings, and
Yeah,
then he spent 15 million to make it, but he makes 50. And it's like,
yeah.
that's a success. That is a very good success. How is that a failure? Like the dude just I can't believe how fast he makes these movies.
Yeah, I just heard that like it was like a year ago too, whatever. They was like, yo, he shot this entire thing in like less than 15 days. And I'm like, how the fuck? Huh?
Yeah, the one they just talked about was Acrimony with Taraji P. Henson.
Jesus Christ.
And they
People have
filmed
shat on that movie.
2-hour film, 8 days. And it's like, I've worked on creative projects for a 3-minute video that took longer than 8 days. Like, how the fuck did you film a movie in 8 days? The dude just doesn't stop.
I was down a rabbit hole last week or whatever, and this is random as hell, I know.
Yeah,
But I was listening to some shit. You ever heard of the You're Wrong About podcast?
maybe. Sounds
It's like
familiar.
these two writers or whatever, Mike and Sarah, and like they kind of go back and they're like, "Yo, you were wrong about," and then insert whatever topic. And
Okay.
I was listening to the one about Yoko Ono breaking up the Beatles.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like I was just clicking on the ones where I'm like, okay, I don't know about this. That's interesting. I don't know about this. It's interesting. So
Right.
listen to that Yoko one when they're talking about like John Lennon and
Hmm.
it, like when they were comparing him and Paul and they talked a little bit about the songwriting and it sent me down this YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Apparently Paul would write these songs where like he wants to sit there and like work on this and that and everything or whatever, but the
Hmm.
songs would be kind of mediocre, but he would take like hours and do take after take after
Right.
take after take. And John was just like, yo, I got this shit. This works, boom, 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 on to the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people are like that. Like I heard
Yeah.
that about Prince or whatever when me and my brother were doing research last year.
Dude, my mom saw Prince once. Like, I forgot he was
I'm
like,
jealous.
he was opening for somebody.
That's
And
crazy.
here's the crazier part. He got booed off stage.
I've heard about that. Yeah. Wait, dude, if you say your mom was at that infamous show where he got booed off stage or whatever from like the recording, I forgot which record. If it's so,
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
send
if
you
it
the
was in
song.
a recording.
I'm gonna send you the song after
Okay.
we finish.
It was a show in LA. My mom went to see it and Prince was the opener and he got booed off.
Dude, I swear I'm gonna send you some clips. If your mom was at that fucking show, that's literal history.
Dude,
No, I'm not joking with you. If you guys watching YouTube, y'all can see my face.
yeah.
It's like an infamous moment. Like he put it on a different like song later of him getting booed off stage or whatever.
Oh, send me that. I want to see if that's
Like
the
it's like an
same.
infamous clip.
Oh, that'd be so crazy if it is that night. That'd be so funny.
But no, that's the wildest shit I ever heard about Prince ever. Like they literally said like they were finishing up the tour for Purple Rain,
Yeah.
and he was just like, okay, on to the next. Like
Yeah.
imagine creating literal purple fucking rain and being like, I'm worried about my new album.
I know.
Like certain people's minds just go shit. Like I even think I'm like, no.
Yeah. I know. Some people can just do so much. It's insane. It's so crazy. Going back to Tyler Perry real quick. Have you heard of his new project he's trying to cast right now?
I have not. What is that?
It is a TV drama series about a 20-something-year-old Medea as an up and coming woman.
Well, they got to go back in the past because I think she died, right? Or she went to
Did she
jail.
die? I don't know. Well, she's gone to
I know she went
jail.
to jail. So yeah.
She's been to jail. Apparently, though, I haven't seen that film. And they're saying in the review, the Nicole podcast, they're saying she doesn't go to jail till the last like 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah,
Like
they
it's
got to
in
eat the suspense.
right, but it's like the last 10 minutes of the film she's in jail. I need to start watching more Tyler Perry. Clearly, um, but yeah, I don't even know how I got on that topic. Holy shit! All
Worth
right,
rate? I don't can't remember. A lot
well,
of stuff.
that's why it's utter nonsense. Well, let's transition to. It's not a quiz, but I'm going to just ask
Oh
some
shit.
questions. I'm curious to hear what you're off the top of your head what you say.
Bet.
So, if I ask you in no order, 3 top artists or bands that come to your mind, what would you say?
3 top artists or
For in your
bands.
opinion.
We talking right now or all time?
Let's say all time. or at least in the last decade.
Oh, that's easy. Well, the first two are easy. Drake,
Okay.
Beyonce. Who was number three? Who was my number three? Tyler's up there, but I don't know if he's number three or not.
Yeah.
Like I everything Drake is must listen.
Okay.
Everything Beyonce must listen.
Yeah.
God, who was that number three? Shit. I always say like I fuck with Kendrick, but like me and my homie always make the joke of like, yo, like no offense, nobody wants to hear Kendrick or whatever, like in the club or whatever. While I'm trying to like twerk on chicks. Just don't
Yeah,
work the same.
that's a very good point.
Like I love him to death, but it's like and then obviously whatever. Like I love Cole too, but like
Right.
and a lot of people down here, whatever North Carolina, like it's a super biased and like people
Right.
will fight you for not liking J Cole down here, bro.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Like that.
I believe it.
I got it, Frank Ocean.
Really? Frank Ocean top 3.
Frank
All right.
Ocean. He just
All right.
popped on the screen or whatever. Literally, it's godsend. I get mad when I think about the fact that like he won't release music.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna hit you with this or whatever, and I'll make it real quick because I know you got some more stuff to ask.
Yeah, no worries.
Think
Take your time.
about 2010, right?
Yeah.
Think about what you were doing in 2010. Now think about Frank Ocean and think about The Weeknd in 2010.
Yeah.
If I would have told you which one would be performing at the Super Bowl, which one would you probably say?
I would have guessed Frank Ocean
What
based
the
on
fuck happened?
2010. Yeah.
What it's like literally Weeknd. We didn't know what he looked like at first.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, it's kind of similar with Earl Sweatshirt. He never drops music. He dropped that one
He's
project a
so
couple
fucking
years ago.
talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And they're just like, nah.
Frank literally just goes into pure hiding, and it annoys me because I'm like, he's so talented. Like, yo, you were on records with Jay-Z and Kanye. You were writing for Beyonce. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
you
he
were on
was
tracks with He had Beyonce ad libs on a fucking record.
yeah, he was on
You
track
got her
to
to come
blow
in
up.
and ad lib. Just think
Yeah.
about that. Beyonce, not some
Yeah,
basic chick around the corner.
She's not gonna do that for anybody.
I just it bothers me. Like, he has to be number three because like I don't know anyone else I get pissed at for not making music.
All right. That's a good top 3. That was a strong top 3. All right. What about top 3 wrestlers in the last 20 years?
Ooh, that's hard because I was a kid and I just came back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss has to be up there because I have merch.
So, do you have Alexa Bliss merch?
I have a shirt. When I first came in, she was the character that made me think like I love this shit because I literally and I told you, no judgment here, whatever. But when I was growing up, being around certain like hood dudes or whatever, I was like, I can't openly be like, yo, I fuck with Mean Girls. But like the people I chill with now, they're like, yo, Mean Girls is a fucking classic. Her character was Regina George for me, so I'm like, I love this chick.
Yeah, I mean, I
love
agree.
her.
When I got back into wrestling, she was my favorite female wrestler by far because I was just like, she's so good.
So I got to give it to her, or whatever.
Okay.
Because I know people always give it to the horsewoman. I love all 4 of them, but
yeah,
if I mean, people always ask, of course, everyone's Stone Cold.
Yeah,
That's everyone's. I feel like that's too easy, so I don't even want to say it.
nah,
Like Stone Cold, The Rock is too easy. I feel like
I put them in the tier list of greatest of all time, but not in my favorite list.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I got a top 25 tier list. We've never talked about this.
Oh, we got to do that one. That's what it got.
Oh, we could talk about that right after this.
Undertaker scared the living fuck out of me at one point in life.
Why?
When I was a kid. Well, when I was a kid, I was like, I saw this nigga die. Like, what the fuck you mean? I'm talking about like kid Mooky, not adult Mooky. Because I watched literally from the time I can remember up to about 9th grade. So we're talking like 2006.
Right.
And I came back in 2018.
That's fair. When he had the feud with Orton and they did the thing where he like popped up in the mirror behind him in the bathroom, I had nightmares for a good week about that.
Dog. What scared me, whatever, and I remember the infamous moment because WrestleMania 20 was on my birthday.
Oh shit!
WrestleMania 20 was March 14th or whatever of that year. He came back from the dead or whatever and beat Kane.
That's right.
Came out with the Druids, all that shit.
That's right.
Damn, I'm trying to think. Is Alexa? Man, what's crazy? Give me is the big dog a good? Because I feel like I was fucking with the big dog before he turned heel.
I mean, I always thought Roman was a very impressive wrestler, but I felt like he was getting on the same path of John Cena, where we're getting him shoved down our throat constantly.
That's what everyone told me. Like,
right. I thought he was talented. Like The first time I saw him do that or the jumping leg kick on the
Yeah.
side of the ring, I was like,
It
what?
honestly took people losing him to be like, damn, we kind of miss him.
Well, and this is I honestly believe if you were to remove the last w- everything in his WWE career up to the last 8 9 months,
Hmm.
this is Hall of Fame worthy. This dude is
Still,
just insane.
still.
It's by far the best thing in my opinion right now in wrestling. It's
And my
so
thing
good.
about it is people look like, they might go with the Cena route and everything. And I understand it. I get it.
Sure, sure.
But at the same time, too, like, that's a good ass template.
Yeah,
Like people might say, yo, well, this is the new Cena. But they'd be like, imagine somebody calling you like the new Michael Jackson or some shit. Like,
right,
for your industry, that's the standard. Like, not
right,
even the standard, that's the legend. You know what
right.
I'm
Not
saying?
many people are getting called that.
Facts.
Right. I got to pull up now. We don't have to go full conversation on it because I don't know
Oh
how many of
shit.
my listeners are wrestling fans. But I do just want to read off my top 10 of all time, in my opinion.
Okay.
Hear what you think. Me and my dad constantly argue about this.
Yo, my dad don't
Um,
watch wrestling no more, whatever. I'm gonna get him back into
uh,
it.
no, my dad is actually what got me back into it. He kept watching when I stopped.
I
And
don't
then,
remember when my dad stopped, actually. That's what's funny.
yeah, I came home it was like, probably just for like a holiday or something from school. And he had a Raw on, and I sat down and watched. I'm like, oh, wrestling's still a thing. I guess I should get back into this. And now it's my life, and I never
Facts.
shut the fuck up about it. Where the hell is this list? Here
Oh
we
no,
go.
trust. I get it. My girl gets. She's like, wrestling's on every day, and I'm like, I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, I know. That's how my girl is too.
When I told her NXT was moving to Tuesday, she was like, "Damn it, I missed." It's like I was already mad when SmackDown got off Tuesday and moved to Friday. I was like, look at you remembering.
I know, I know. My girl, every time the pay per view ends, she's like, "Did you win?" And I'm like, "Yep, this stays in the apartment for another month.
Hey,
Congratulations." I always try to prop it up like on the bed in the center, on a pillow, just
oh,
to
my
be
girl
like,
be
"This is
so
our
tight or
castle."
whatever.
All right, this is the top 10 in my opinion. All right, you want me to start from the top or bottom?
Bottom to the top.
All right, 10, John Cena.
Okay.
9, Macho Man. 8, The Rock. 7, Piper. 6, Stone Cold. 5, Triple H. 4,
Ooh,
Hogan. 3, Taker. 2, Flair. 1, Michaels.
I like it. Hogan's too high, but I'm
I
biased.
I hate Hogan.
Yeah.
I put him up that high because
But no,
of
I like the fact
history.
that you said Piper because I'm gonna be real. Like now, I can't even say this around my co-hosts because they probably would
Yeah.
shit on me. But like, I don't know a lot about Piper.
Oh, you should just start watching some more shit on him. I mean, the
The
dude was
the Piper match I saw was when we went back and reviewed WrestleMania 8.
yeah,
He had a match with Brett where Brett became the new IC champ.
right. Yeah, he was the quintessential heel for that time, Like he kind
Well,
of
I'm
laid
gonna
the
try and watch
foundation.
his A&E doc or whatever.
Yeah, you should. You should. I'm excited for that. Hogan, in my opinion, I hate Hogan, but I look at history and I'm like, the dude headlined 9 manias in a row.
Oh no, he's undeniable. He's
He
undeniable.
he was the first, like, he's the wrestler you can say to somebody and they're like, oh well, I know him.
Yeah.
So doesn't mean he's good. But
Unfortunately, and like I say this all the time, whatever, because I'm like, yo, you could say between Flair and Hogan, and I troll now and I say John Cena is our era's version of that.
yeah.
Because think about it, Hogan was having how many? I mean, think about the like, you know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the big argument between me and my dad constantly is he thinks Flair is one, and I'm like, nah, Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time.
Will got pissed at me last night, and I don't think we said it on air. I think this was some shit I said like off mic or whatever. But shout out to homies with First Black Champ. One of them said that Seth Rollins is about 5 to 7 matches from being Shawn Michaels. He said that Seth is.
I don't like that. Yeah,
And Will got pissed too. Will got pissed too.
oh,
Will was like, stop it. He's like, it's fucking Sean, nigga. Like, that was his exact words. He's like,
oh,
yo.
I don't like that. But I can't deny it, but I don't like it.
I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
I started naming off some Seth shit or whatever. And I'm like, this is just since I came back. I can imagine how busy he was getting before I came back.
I just saw a clip on Instagram of his Tyler Black indie days
Yeah.
where he did a moonsault jump off some dude's stomach. Like it was like some fan, like hefty 400-pound fan, and he literally jumped on his stomach and backflipped off into his opponent. I was like, That all right.
That man is sick, man. I'm
I'm
telling
more
you.
impressed with the fan for just taking that.
Nobody's gonna be mad at HBK #1 though.
No, no, they'll argue it, but they ain't gonna be mad about it. I don't know. All right, we can transition from that.
Yeah, before we scare off the
Um,
other nonsense fans.
I know they're just about to hit exit. Um, what else? 3 artists, 3 musicians. I mean, all right, not sports teams, just your 3 top sports to watch.
In order, basketball, football second. Ooh, that third is where it gets tricky.
Mhm.
I could say baseball, and I guess I'd watch baseball instead of soccer, honestly.
I love going to baseball games live. I cannot watch a baseball game in completion on TV. I get too tired
I
out.
haven't done it in a long time. I used to be into it though. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
front. Like I used to religiously watch the Braves.
Yeah.
Like I used to.
Yeah.
And they kept losing to that fucking Astros every year when they were still in the NL or whatever. And I said, fuck this, fuck baseball. Went away for a little bit.
Uh,
But soccer, I don't know. I just got into soccer a couple of years ago, honestly.
yeah. I mean, I grew up watching some international soccer because my friends did.
Yeah.
You know, I got a couple friends who are, from backgrounds that are very soccer heavy.
Right.
And then in the last few years, I've been watching a lot of women's soccer because my sister became a huge fan of the US women's national team. And I started
Oh,
watching.
they're
I'm like,
dope.
oh, I saw them live. I saw them play. I want to say they played Argentina, but maybe it was Brazil. And they just kicked ass. I'm like, these women are insane. Kicked fucking ass.
I just wish so bad that they would take out the offsides
Hmm.
and or make the field smaller. And I feel like the game would be so much better. I don't
Did
know,
you
but that's me coming from an outsider's perspective.
did
I
you
don't know.
play sports growing up?
I played baseball as a child,
Okay.
and then around middle school or whatever, got into basketball a lot.
Okay.
But all through high school or whatever, I ran track.
Really?
I was a sprinter.
Oh
200
wow.
meters, 4x1, 4x1, 4x2 relay.
Were you good?
Pretty damn good, man. Honestly, if I would have took school seriously, I probably could have made it to like HBCU.
Really? Wow. I had no
I just
idea.
I did not care about like school at all. Looking back now, if I would have took school a little bit more seriously or whatever, I probably would have went there and flunked out. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't take anything seriously. But
Yeah,
like I was fast.
that's
You know, I'm
crazy.
old and washed now, whatever. But shit.
Did you ever get recruited at all to try to be like a receiver or anything in football?
Um, for football, they knew I could. I got like this neck joint because I've always wanted to play
Oh,
football. I was
okay.
so pissed about that. Trust me.
Okay.
I remember even like sneaking and signing my name or whatever, and they called, and my mom was like, "You know, damn well you can't play no football or whatever." Like, cuss me out and shit. Um, what's funny actually around my senior year or whatever,
Hmm.
it sucked because by that point I actually knew the athletic director for the school
Yeah.
because he went to the same church with one of my little homies, and he was like, "Yo, Darius, you know, you trying to run bases for a baseball team?" And that was it was
Oh,
it was it was it was actually a decent offer because he was like, he was the coach.
right.
He's like, I'll put you on the team just to run bases. And I could have thought about doing it because we had a dude that went off to Carolina after he graduated and shit.
Yeah.
They won a fucking like 3A state title my freshman year in '06.
Wow.
I could, but I was like, dog, like it's my last year of track. Like I can't do it. And
Right.
looking back, I made the right decision because they lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that
I
would have
made
been
the right decision, but that shit would have been cool, man. Because
it.
baseball got all the cool merch. Because
Yeah.
baseball was the moneymaker for my high school.
Was it?
Even though it was hilarious, like my senior year was just so dope for my high school, at least because
Hmm.
our football team probably did like the best they did in years.
Yeah.
And our basketball team that year still has, I want to say, the school record for like wins that year.
That's crazy. We at my school, football was like our most popular sport, but we were historically trash. Like our high school was trash at football. And I was on water polo, and we were good on water polo. We won 3 Southern California championships in
Okay,
a
nice.
row. And literally, like my senior year, we got a good amount of because they're like, oh, hey, they're there again. Why don't we go support them finally? But
Right.
like, our regular games, you get like 20 or 30 people like, woo, and then football would be packed. And it's like, we lost by 40. And it's like, God damn it.
It's just certain things, man. Like I always say, I'm like, yo, nobody saw us for fucking track meets or whatever.
Right.
But like they will go out and watch like the football team get smacked on
Exactly.
other years or stuff, or you know,
Exactly. That's
it's
I I commend you for being a track star because I hate running so much. I
my
cannot
parents
run.
hit me with the, hey, if you don't join the sport, you gotta join our OTC.
Yeah.
And I won't go do that. I mean, I'm just starting to grow the hair out back then. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that,
Yeah,
man.
you about to cut it off.
Yeah, that
Oh,
wasn't about to happen.
thank God they didn't offer that to me. If my parents offered that, I would be like, no, 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 no.
They said I had to do something after school, and they was like, well, you're fast. Go try out for track. And
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed track for all 4 years.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's crazy. I didn't know that about you. Um, well, shit, I think we could wrap this up, man. It's been a solid conversation. Um, I mean, I can promote on your behalf, but I know you're too good at it already. Mookie, you want to promote
Hey
yourself?
man, I always tell people to go rate, like, comment, subscribe. It's Don't Bite Your Tongue with Mookie. I mean, like Matt so elegantly put it, just we talk from all things of wrestling, music, sports, video games, all types of stuff or whatever. I can give you a little hint of what's coming up next week or whatever. We
Yeah,
got an interview coming up. We got knock on wood or whatever, but it's probably gonna be the first one you see.
yeah,
Um, we have a Beyonce 5-year anniversary review coming up.
yeah,
Wrestling's always gonna be coming up, never gonna miss that. I got some other stuff in the tuck or whatever, so yeah, man, we do monthly playlist over there, like I mentioned earlier on Apple Music and Spotify. Everything's gonna be in the link tree or whatever,
yeah, yeah,
everything's gonna be in there, support. I appreciate it.
yeah. And the links to
I
all your stuff will be in the bios on our podcast on video and audio.
I appreciate the homie Matt or whatever, so I always say not only were you guys the first people where it's like, 'cause I talked to a lot of other podcasters,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when it's time to work, they like BS or it's some
yeah,
other shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all were the first ones where it's just like, nah, let's do it. All right, bet, let's do it or whatever. And
Right.
me and Matt, I'm telling you, like, we just talk like not just wrestling, but just dumb shit all the time now, whatever.
Dude, it's like my sister is someone who's much, we're only 4-year difference, but she's definitely
Right.
much more internet culture than I am.
Yeah.
And like she talks about making these friends through the internet and stuff, and I'm like, that's crazy. I don't even know how I would do that. And then I think about like, I'm like, nah, like I talk to Mookie basically every day of the week. Like we
Yeah,
fucking
look.
shoot the shit about something.
Oh
And it's
my
like,
my girl thinks that shit's weird. She was like, if you got, I'm like, yeah, no, we like record together
yeah.
and like all this shit. She was like, and I've showed her like Los Levies and everything. She's like,
Yeah.
damn, that look kind of good. I'm like, exactly. Shut up or whatever. Shout out Los Levies tacos. I'm gonna
Shout
talk
out
you
Los
something off
Levi's
air or
tacos,
whatever
dude.
because I got an
Um,
idea in mind. Just, top secret.
Dude, we'll talk after this. But yeah, everyone go support the buddy and check out his podcasts. They're amazing. I'm on it from time to time.
Don't bite your tongue, Mookie. We getting you back up there, whatever, man. Wrestling. We got
Yeah.
a little bit of time before Backlash of Mania.
Oh my god. We're not gonna start that now.
Yeah, fuck. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about that off air. Thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Utter Nonsense Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow. Your support means the world to us. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and so much more. We're also on YouTube if you want to look at our pretty faces. We look good. We definitely did our makeup today. So come check that out too. And Mookie, thank you again for coming on. Please, everybody listening, go check out Don't Bite
Appreciate
Your
the
Tongue with
invite.
Mookie. The dude is the hardest working person, 150 podcasts a year. I
I'm
mean,
trying, man.
Christian can suck his ass. He's the hardest working man here.
Also too, it's gonna be it's not my album, but going to be featured on the album coming up real soon, like or whatever, potentially in June. Just sneaking that out there. I'll let you know more and more whenever we get some tracks together.
I'm stoked for that. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Max, we'll see if you show up next week or not. I don't know. You stopped answering your calls and you changed your
I'm taking
mailing
your
address.
spot, Max.
Honestly, Max, you've been replaced. So
the other Mook Sense podcast. Yeah. I don't know.
Don't bite your tongue with utter nonsense.
Oh my god! There we go. Collaborative.
Oh my god! All right, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Peace.